Digital 410 Productions proudly presents the What's in Your Head podcast.
Digitized live from
Your company name here.
the studios in Cape Coral, Florida. It's the What's in Your Head podcast.
Sounds very Ecuadorian.
What's up? What's up? OG5. Welcome to another episode of the What's in Your Head podcast. This is the new shiny video enhanced version of the What's in Your Head podcast. I'm a little flooded out from all the fucking lights, but that's neither here nor there. We went with the bright background because, well, it's still light outside and it comes seeping through the green screen. So I got to brighten up the room to cancel that out. But anyhow, what's up, fellas? What's up, Mike?
Just another wonderful day there, fella. You know,
Just another
just
day.
living the dream. Living the dream.
Livin. What is the dream?
It's not the American dream anymore, I can tell you that much. That don't exist.
Well, just remember, Freddy Krueger came.
Ooh,
in
how the
dreams.
tables have fucking turned. What is that, Freddy Krueger?
I said Freddy Krueger came in dreams. So
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I
that's-
mean,
I thought you were making reference to my episode of Redline RTAGP where I was fucking attacked by Freddy Krueger. That's neither here nor there. Wait, what? Who's that? This can't be good. Nope, not today, not me.
Hello there.
Is that Freddy Krueger? Can't be. He's not real.
Is it? Are you gonna run? There's nowhere to go. Where are you going?
No, it's interesting, Mike, that you're saying that the American dream is dead. How the table turned. I think it's briefly about a year ago. I mentioned that in this Very Well podcast, and you were very disappointed. Me and Morgan got up on his high horse talking about how the American dream's not dead, which not his high horse, but he was very stern in his belief in the American dream, which I'm grateful for. But yeah, it's nice to see that you've been knocked down to my world.
Well,
Well, no, I think Morgan's point was the American dream subjective, and so it's
it is. It is. But my idea of the typical American dream, I think, is the spirit is there, but physically, like in the real world, doesn't exist anymore.
this is the way the world ends.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends, not with a band. If you got that reference, you owned EMF Sherbert Dip in 1993, and you're welcome. Yeah, and that's kind of like on that episode we're talking about. I was like, and I did this in a TikTok, a little bit different subject, but kind of same thing. Remember the joke when we were growing up? Back in my day, your candy bar cost a nickel. Now you guys are paying 55 cents. So
Yeah.
what? In 40 years, the price of a candy bar went up 45 cents? You're saying
No.
it was a nickel, now it's 50 cents in 1994? Well, guess what, Grandpa? That 99-cent hamburger, that 99-cent soda, and the 99-cent medium fry from 1994 now costs $14 at fucking Wendy's. I think we got you beat in the inflation department.
Yeah. Back in my day, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, give me the 50-cent candy bar again. And we talked about it. It's like, hey, in the 90s, early 2000s, what was it, Morgan? All you need to do to have a good life, go to school, get a job making 45, 50 grand a year. Fuck,
Not-
baby
no, I
train
don't
on
even think-
biscuit wheels.
I don't even think it
At
was that much. If you
65
made
grand a
40
year, you're fucking living paycheck to paycheck because it's inflation's so damn high.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I was a kid, like, my parents would sit down and we'd have conversations sometimes about stuff like that. And we go, oh, you make 40 grand a year or whatever. You're doing pretty good in life. And it's like, fuck,
No.
no. Like my wife and I, at one time in my life, once, my wife and I cleared six figures. Once.
That was
And-
the other cliche too. Remember back in the movies? He got a job offer. It was 6 figures.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. And we're not talking,
200,000.
yeah, we're not talking 2, 3, 4. We're talking like just cleared
102.
one. Yeah, just barely cleared one. Maybe we were pushing like 104. Okay. my problem with this is I remember thinking 10 years ago, man, if I could only make 100 grand a year. And then now I've done it. Doesn't feel like I fucking made 100 grand that
Yeah,
year.
when you're making, even if it's combined, even if it's you and your wife together, right?
Yeah.
You guys are combined and you're making 100 grand, and you're
Not
like,
anymore. I'm not anymore.
yeah, I'm
It
just no,
was
I'm
just
saying
the 1 year
hypothetically,
ago.
it's like
Yeah.
if you're making 100 grand and you realize we're basically 2 weeks, 2 paychecks away from being homeless.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's only been a short 25 years. I remember in 1999, no, 2001, after 9/11, that's when I moved to California to go to school to
Mhm.
be a computer guy. And my dad co-signed on my loans to go to computer school. And I saw what he was making then, and it was a little bit more than the number we're talking now. But I remember back then in the 90s and 2000s, if you include my step siblings, there were 6 of us. And anyone knew that if anyone got car broke down, something happened, something catastrophic happened where you needed a quick $400 because it's between life and death.
Yeah.
My dad could scratch that out and it wouldn't even affect him. He'd cut you a check.
Yeah.
But people making that money nowadays, like, ooh, I might be able to loan you $150.
Yeah.
The whole,
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
I've been
back
there have
then
been
at that
days
back then at that time, he was paying
that
for
was
my
unheard of.
stepbrother's college tuition. And it's like nowadays, no, you can't even afford a fucking. You'd be lucky if you have a house, a paid off car, and possibly a 4-wheeler on finance.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's insane.
I mean, granted, I've got 2 car payments, but I don't have a choice
But
because
also, to be fair to our listening audience,
Mhm.
that money would go a hell of a lot further in Grass Lake, Iowa. However,
Right.
unless you work remotely,
We live
finding
in
a job
Southwest
making
Florida.
that amount of money in Grass Lake, Iowa is tremendously different.
Yeah.
Kind of like when I was talking about after COVID, and all these remote workers like, I don't need to work from the office in LA and New York City. It's like, hey, stupid. Your salary's based on the cost of living of where you live.
Yeah.
When you showed up to that interview, you may have been the best in the stack of the people who lived in New York City who showed up for that job. But
Mhm.
Tina, whose husband inherited her uncle's farm in Tennessee, who went to college for the same money you did, would happily take your job for 3/4 of your salary and live like it's double because she lives in nowhere, Indiana,
Yeah.
versus what you're paying your $2,000 a month apartment in New York City. How about you shut the fuck up and show up at work so you can get your
Yeah.
paycheck before you get outsourced to the chick who's working living on the farm in Illinois because her husband inherited it.
Yeah. That's if I was making what I'm making now alone,
Mm-hmm.
if I was making what I'm making now and I still lived in the mountains in North
In West
Carolina.
Virginia.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have never had an issue. The rent payment and stuff like that. I mean, even the gas price, was pushing, just getting around $5 a gallon back, when I was living there. And even if I was making what I'm making now, that wouldn't have been that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But my rent, this apartment that I live in right now goes for $2,500 a month. Fortunately,
That's exactly why my daughter moved and her boyfriend moved back to Ohio. Not that it's much cheaper, but she has a family to live with up there because she was living with my dad at the time and he sold his house. And her and her boyfriend looked around like, yeah, we work at Starbucks and yeah, we can't afford this shit. Oh, and by the way, we got 3 cats. So with the pet deposit, forget about it.
Right. Well, and yeah, and you can find a job like that in Ohio, or in even more rural areas that don't aren't like maybe not. You can find that same job, but Cleveland is still going to be a little more pricey than
He's actually he's kind of doing what Morgan's doing. He's getting ready to get his what class
driving.
He's actually getting ready to get. He's got his local. He's getting ready to get his overland so they can do long haul trucking. Because she's about ready. She's like, she's she's 29 now.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, let's just, it's like, well, instead of spending money on all this rent, if you're not gonna be home, why don't we just fucking box everything up and I'll just go ride with you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have a rent, you're not paying for $80 internet,
Yeah.
and you got a sleeper cab, and you're still in your 30s. Fucking do that. Get a camera, start a YouTube channel, and just do that for a year and a half or so. Save up some money, and then fucking.
I thought about it. I thought about it because I mean, you as you and your, like a co-driver or something like that. I mean, even if you just brought them along, because there's companies out there that know that people, they have no issues with that.
Yeah.
People live on the road.
Oh yeah.
And they make money, per mile and shit like that doing OTR. And I looked into, doing stuff like that because when I was in the military, I was a truck driver. I mean, I learned how to drive,
All right, Mike. I'm hearing that we need to team up and be.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this.
We need to go crime fight all those lot lizards when we stop at the fucking Loves and the
That point-
Pilots.
To that point, you're talking about how some of the managers are down for it. You would think
Yeah.
logistically you would want your driver to have a co-pilot because they have somebody keep them awake, so there's gonna be less issue of them driving on hopped up on speed.
Oh no, that's not it.
Well, but hold on. But throw back to the olden days. If your driver's wife's in the passenger seat, you ain't got to worry about them missing a load because he's hiding his second family from his fourth family because he's got families spread out all over the country. The old 70s white line fever got 3 families throughout the country. Can't do that shit nowadays. They're all on I'm sure there's a Facebook channel called "We Dating the Same Trucker."
Yeah. Well, and there's now, these trucks are so advanced now too that I mean, it wouldn't be nothing to get a Hummer going fucking 85 mile an hour down.
Dude, I've done that.
Whatever bumfuck highway you're going down.
Done that in a Ford Escort LX.
Yeah.
5 speed with the stick shift.
That's right. Yep. Hang on. Let me shift.
These kids can't even drive nowadays holding a phone. I'm going to get in the road head and shift and spill at the same time. And smoking a cigarette and drinking a Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
You guys are having a problem doing this. I swear we're declining as a society that we're worried about that.
I mean, even the clean version of that where, pile a kid in the middle seat of a S10 or something like that, 5-speed, and see how quickly you don't realize that, oh shit, my kid just spilled a milkshake in between his legs. I'm shifting the truck, not that this is good, but I'm smoking a cigarette and I'm trying to clean up this mess, deal with all, just these kids don't.
I mean, it's not like the kid's smoking a cigarette. It's fine.
No, and the window's cracked. We're good.
I can hold my button in and vape at the same time.
That's right. That's right.
Well, that's the
imagine
problem
being a boy
these days. It's AI, man.
Yeah.
It's making life easy. It's too easy
Imagine
to drive
being
down the road.
17-year-old boy in a modern day single cab truck. There's no more bench seat. They got the damn console in the middle. It's odd. There's nothing better than having your 1991 Chevy S10 or in Morgan's case, your 1963 step-side Chevy with your bench seat. your pretty girl in the middle, right? She's sitting in the middle. Oh, sorry, baby. We're going to have to ride fourth gear out a little while. Always nothing second and fourth as long as you could.
Slipped. Damn it.
Because the left leg's on one side, it's on your side, or right leg's on the other. You're just riding out in fourth gear as well.
Yeah.
Why fucking whining out? I don't worry about it. I like more RPMs.
In about fucking 3,300 RPMs sitting there on the tack too.
Why are you driving down the street in reverse? Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Don't worry about what I got going on.
Oh boy. Speaking of that,
the diddle?
Well, it's that time of year. The seniors are graduating, already have graduated.
Ugh.
Senior pranks.
Oh, God.
And this will lead into a question I have for you guys. New Jersey high school forced to cancel full day of classes after an over-the-top senior prank went too far. Now, I read this headline to such outstanding citizens such as you and Morgan. When you hear senior prank gone too far, what do you think these little rascallions did?
If I had to guess based on how
I keep in mind they canceled an entire day of school, and the headline says
they did something to fuck the school up.
Seniors went too far.
So it's either going to be something so extreme, or it's going to be the littlest, most inconvenience in the world, because people are so fucking sensitive with shit like that. Anyway, can't do anything It's either they took it too far or it was the most fucking insignificant shit.
Well, I will
Super
explain to you
glued the
what New York
locks.
Post said is too far in 2025.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you what the class of 1997 in Grove City High School did in 1997 that I wasn't a part of, but people cast their aspersions in my direction because I was one of the skateboarder kids with the long hair who hung out with the Marilyn Manson kids.
I got a little bit of a football rivalry
Good.
between our two high schools. I'll tell you about too. Then
Okay. They have no class. The article goes on to say, an over-the-top senior prank left a New Jersey high school in shambles, forcing officials to call off classes for the day because of a hijinks that went too far, according to the report. Pranksters at South River High School, you ready for this? They trashed the classrooms and common areas in Middlesex County campus by rearranging furniture, emptying basketball gym equipment, covering the hallways with toilet paper, and generally turning the school upside down. Now they have pictures where they took out all the desks and wrapped them with industrial grade saran wrap. So this prank that went too far that shut down a school was basically they got all the desks and chairs and wrapped them in saran wrap, toilet papered the halls, and took gym equipment out of the lockers.
oh no.
That gets worldwide written up in a New York.
Whatever are we going to do?
Oh no. The amount of carbon that's being wasted with the saran wrap. We used to take those same industrial size saran wraps from Wendy's and wrap our manager's car this way so he couldn't open his door. The best prank I ever learned about, Gordon's friends did this. When Gordon lived out at Big Sky, Montana, they had a communal employee condo. It's more like a college style dorm with 4 or 5 dudes shacking up one room and communal bathrooms. They had communal showers.
Oh.
These assholes would take the heads off the shower heads, put 3 or 4 lifesavers in them, screw them back on. So when you're taking a shower, you have this nice fruity smell, but afterwards you dry your whole body just covered in stick.
Oh
And
no.
the best thing is this is a prank you don't have to reverse because after the water runs long enough, the lifesavers go away. But yeah, you'd just be a ball of stick and have to try to find a shower
That's horrible.
So
That's horrible.
Morgan, did the fine people of the class of 1963 have a good senior prank?
Well, I'm sure they did, but I was I wasn't present for the last half of my senior year, so I'm not sure what they did, but I'll
Did you have a fantasy prank that you always wanted to pull?
yeah. Have you ever seen Office Space?
Yep.
You know the end of that? Yeah, it was kind of something along those lines. Yeah, I'm gonna British place to the ground.
The hardest prank that we wanted to pull, but we never did. It'd be easy, but kind of hard to do nowadays, but easy with Amazon. But the one we wanted to pull, which we did, and I'll tell the one that did get pulled. We all just wanted to get old school analog alarm clocks with the bells on top. And everybody set it to a certain time and just fill every locker in the school with it. So at that time, the whole entire building was just those old analog alarm clocks going off.
Mm.
Mike, what did the rascals at your school do?
Well, we had a rivalry between two schools because football is extremely heavy in the tri-state area of North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee, and especially high school and college. They don't really give a fuck about NFL. And it wasn't really the year that I was there because they didn't really pull too many pranks or anything like that when I was there. But there was a year not long before I was in school where the opposing football team, I think it was our team, went to the rival high school and took thousands of sporks and implanted them into the football field and just left them up all over from fucking goalpost to goalpost. It was nothing but sporks across the field.
And they were pissed off KFC patrons for miles around.
Yeah.
God, I'm not gonna eat my coleslaw.
Now,
On tonight's news, there's a shortage of sporks in the tri-state area.
yeah, A personal prank, I guess, was you remember those capsules of fucking fart, the little fucking fart things? They were like you can get them in glass.
Stink bombs.
The
Yeah.
stink bombs and shit. We took one of those and we threw it in the, actually speaking of KFC, we threw it in the men's bathroom no, it was the women's bathroom in KFC. Just threw it in there, shut the door and walked out. And we sat there and we watched and about 8 people walked out of the store. Like, what the fuck is that smell?
Well, they were
That was a
probably
pretty good
like,
one.
gosh, it finally smells good in a KFC.
Yeah. 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 What are you cooking here, chicken? Nope, bat wings. Whammy.
So I went to a little school called Grove City High School, not to be confused with the Grove City in Florida. This is up in Columbus, Ohio.
Hello.
This is a modern photo of Grove City
This is Grove City High
Grove City
School.
High School, but I remember when they actually put these pavers in. This high school sits on a major thoroughfare called Hoover Road. And being the hippies that we were, and the fact that, the most advanced technology we had were Game Boys and pagers, during lunch,
Right.
we got in the courtyard and we would hacky sack. We got
Oh,
pretty damn
yeah.
good at it. We get a good circle. I have a hacky sack in the cab of my truck to this day. But we'd get a good 5 or 6 people and we'd get that thing going. Hey, you guys can't hacky sack. Why not? Because we don't want people driving down the road seeing you guys seeing a hacky sack and think that we don't take education here seriously.
Okay.
Well, we're Gen Xers. We love to find a good loophole.
Yeah.
So we would hacky sack with a fucking quarter because you can't see a quarter from 100 yards away.
Yeah.
Now we just look like a bunch of psychopaths out there kicking our feet in the air, but we got pretty good at hacky sack with a goddamn quarter, but that's not why I bring that up. So this is the courtyard. I remember one day on a Monday, came to school, and there was a fuss about somebody put a roadkill deer and raccoons in the courtyard. They broke inside. We had an open, basically, as you can see, the way this school is designed, it's basically an H. And as you went to the right and down this corridor here, or stage left, the library sat in between 2 halls. So you had a hall, and then it divoted down, and then that divot was the library shelves. They went and knocked over all the library shelves, trashed the place. Well, the year I went was the year that shows how long ago this was. This was the year that they installed the video cameras.
Oh.
People were shocked. Nowadays we can put metal detectors in, but back then they just put in the closed circuit TV. And as I was saying, some people were assuming it was me and my friends because we were the bad skateboard kids and the Marilyn Manson listeners and the punk rock listeners and this and that.
And the Sacky hackers.
Why'd you guys do? And I literally said, because when you walk in that door on the left, you walked right into the commons area, and we had where you had lunch in the school store, but on the back wall was the trophy case. And I said, if it was us, the first thing that got smashed was the fucking trophy case. Because after all, the jocks and shit, back then it was preppies and skaters versus jocks and all that shit.
Yeah.
Because everybody has to have clicks. Well, lo and behold, the administration found themselves in a little pickle because they know who did it. It was the most popular kids in the school. It was the football players, the National Honor Society kids, King of Hearts Court for homecoming, and the prom king and queens. All the football, the volleyball chicks, all the most
all the
popular
goody
kids,
goods.
the ones who've been holding back for fucking 12 years, let it all go. But now you have this problem because
Fuck this place.
it's our most honored students. So did they get expelled? No.
No.
Keep in mind, they literally drug animal carcasses in, knocked over all the shelves, emptied out all the library books, and broke a window, did some other shit. Because of who they were, they got, I think it was a $500 fine and 300 hours of community service. And so at graduation,
collectively or each?
Each. And so at graduation, to rub it in the faces of the administration, they all had 50 hours, $300 written on the top of their graduation caps. But the fucking thing was, if it was me, and my skateboarding asshole buddies and all the Marilyn Manson kids, we all would have fucking
you're
kicked out
out.
of school.
You're done.
Oh, y'all would have been in jail. Are you
Yeah.
kidding?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the question was, where the fucking deer come from? Sorry, Shane, I'm going to say it. Shane Yoakum found it back there. Shane brought the dead deer and the raccoons and spread it all over the courtyard. So I guess I didn't see it because basically the janitor saw it when they came in the morning. Apparently, it looked like a goddamn war scene. Just body parts and dead animals all over the place.
That's fucked up.
Crazy thing about the school, but
Yeah.
see all these little small windows
Mm-hmm.
on the back. So here's the commons I was talking about. So if you go through these doors, there's the lunchroom over here. But on the opposite side of this building, actually on this side, there's a hallway, and it leads to the gymnasium. One of those small glass windows is broken. This is a different time. Someone called in a bomb threat. Said, hey, broke into the school in the back of the building. This is 1996, 97. This is long before, this is even before Columbine. We broke out the window. We planted a bomb in the school. So behind the school, we had a kind of looked like an airplane hangar. It was half a, just like the old World War II style, but it was a modern day building. It was, a high tunnel basically, but it was the rec center, and it was big enough that it had, I think, 4 full-size basketball courts and a half a mile track and a weight room. So they evacuated everybody there. Cops came, cleared it out. Well, it wasn't a prank. It wasn't kids being shady. What it was is some fellas figured out that there was only roughly 12 cops at the time patrolling Grove City. And so they broke out the window, called in a bomb threat. And then when all the cops were there, they went and robbed the fucking bank up the street.
Get the fuck out of here.
The stupid idiots still got caught. They got caught walking down the train track to Urban Crest. But yeah, that's how they use it as a diversion tactic to rob a bank because they figured all the cops would be at the school for this bomb threat and we can get away with it. But no, they still got caught.
So recently, REO Speedwagon had their last, their farewell concert.
The last hurrah.
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember what stadium it was at, but it's wherever they're from. And they got me thinking because REO Speedwagon was the first concert that I saw back 1982 or 83.
Wow.
And I won tickets off of the radio. And I'm sure it pissed everybody off that this 11-year-old kid won these coveted tickets to go see REO Speedwagon in Portland, Oregon at the Memorial Coliseum. And my poor dad, being the good man that he was, he drugged me there and hated every second of it. But so that was the first concert I ever saw.
So it wasn't like Wayne's. How'd you guys get here? My mom gave me $2 and dropped me off at the parking lot.
No, wasn't quite like that. But so that got me thinking about, I've been to a lot of concerts. I've been really blessed to have, gotten to see a lot of cool bands. A lot of them were on their way down. Mm-hmm. So they were playing smaller venues where, you could get in cheap. But I've actually seen REO 4 times. Wow. And every time it was just as good as the first time I saw. So that got me thinking about what was the best or the first concert that you guys ever went to.
Weren't you afraid to smoke at an REO Speedwagon concert with all that hairspray in the long hair?
Well, I was 11, so I wasn't a smoker yet.
What's more flammable, an REO Speedwagon crowd or a top? No, I'm going to say it probably would be a Motley Crue concert. That would probably be.
Yeah, that's way more flammable.
Yeah, spandex and Aquanet.
I mean, my parents, dragged me around to a few when I was a kid. I don't even remember who they were. They would have been some pretty cool bands like locally.
Or the Righteous Brothers.
Yeah. Well, because my cousin worked at the radio station at the time back in the 90s.
Back in the good old days when they still had payola.
Yeah. Yeah, there were plenty of concerts and stuff like that and like events and things like that they would always get tickets to because my dad was, an old classic rock head. So, anytime there was like bands in town that were doing anything locally or whatever, he would want to go see them. But I think my first concert that I specifically wanted to go to, I think, was Twisted.
Okay.
Um,
I saw them when their House of Crazies was going on.
I saw them when they were leaving when they were leaving Psycho. So I
Saw them
mean,
saw them on the down.
just before I think I did the first leg of the tour, and then I did the second leg of the tour, and then they did the third one, and I heard that the third one they were like, "Fucking, we don't give a fuck anymore."
I saw
But
ICP on the first ICP show I went to was the Ringmaster tour.
mhm.
No, Riddlebox. I missed the
Yeah.
Ringmaster tour.
Yeah,
You know how much my first ICP ticket was, general admission?
$15.
1995.
$12.50.
Yeah.
Last time I saw him was in Anaheim on the Wraith tour.
Hmm.
$35.
Yeah.
I was like,
Now, fucking 75,
Still, that's a good
$80,
deal.
probably $100. I mean, even when I went to go see them, I think because I had to drive there, it was 2 hours to Atlanta, and we drove there, and then the door price, I don't know, I think it was like all said and done for the four of us to go and drive there, it was probably like $300.
but I've been to even before I worked at the radio station because I lived in Columbus. I've been to a shit ton of concerts. So by the time after 6 years of K Rock, I have no interest in going to a fucking concert
Yeah.
anymore because I've been to so many. But
Showed out.
even before we're in the K Rock, I'd been to a bunch of them. First concert I ever went to, my brother drug me to see Pigface and Evil Mothers. Pigface was a industrial supergroup.
Sounds like punk rock.
No, it's more you familiar with like Ministry, Skinny Puppy, Nine Inch Nails?
Yeah.
Pigface was a super group. So on the tour that I saw, it had Ogre from Skinny Puppy singing. They had two drummers, which was badass.
Yeah.
The bass player from My Life with a Thrill Kill Cult. Flea had played on the previous album. Trent Reznor had played on the previous album. So I saw them. And then I think my second concert was Clutch. But I think one of the cooler concerts I went to at that time before working in radio, buddy of mine's dad got him U2 tickets for the Pop Mart tour. And I was not a U2 fan at all, but it was at the OSU Arena. And we were down on the field. And so that was kind of my first big time concert.
Yeah.
But I think my overall favorite experience, just because I was 17, 17, or maybe 18, was Lollapalooza 1997.
That was going on back then?
Oh yeah, Lollapalooza started in 1993. You know
Really?
who started Lollapalooza?
I don't know. I didn't know that.
Harry Farrell
Yeah.
from Jane's Addiction started
Really?
Lollapalooza. Yeah. So the 1997 Ohio was Tool, Snoop Dogg, Korn, Tricky, James. They're not giving the full lineup. They're saying various others. Let's see here if I can find the full lineup here. Give me the full lineup. But that was a great concert. That was a great concert. Yes, Tool was there, obviously. Why can't I find the full lineup? That was a great show. Yeah, Korn, Snoop Dogg, Julian Marley, Devo, James, The Ord, Prodigy played. That was fucking awesome. Seeing them play Firestarter. Yeah, that was a great show. The Eels played. Who else was there? But yeah, that was a great show. I had a great time at that one. And then I didn't go. The following 1999 was Ozfest. And that's the one that hit the national news. It was Ozfest, same place, Polaris Amphitheater, which when I moved down here, after I moved down here, Germain Arena down here, that same group bought out the Polaris Amphitheater up there. So it was like the Germain Amphitheater, and they ended up closing it down. But during Ozfest, Ozzy got sick and couldn't play. And they made Phil Osamble from fucking Pantera come out and make the announcement. Now you got a bunch of drunk assholes from Ohio, Tennessee, New York, and Pennsylvania and surrounding areas wanting to see fucking Ozzy in 1999. There was a brand new 1999 Camaro on display. It got flipped over and caught on fire. You can go. You can still see the news footage. As people tore up all the sod. They're throwing clods of sod at the bands while they were playing. They fucking tore down. They had a wood slat privacy fence blocking off the rich neighborhood. That shit turned into what they were basically calling the Ozfest riots. Let's see, 1999 Ozfest. June 17, 1997, the eagerly anticipated Ozfest rolling into town. And yeah, so he couldn't play, and it went ballistic. They were catching cars on it kind of very reminiscent of the 1999 Woodstock, very reminiscent of that. But ever since then, you go to any concert after that, they had fucking security up on the roof. They would literally take the grass out every season. They take the sod out every season before any punk rock show. Speaking of music, this was on my list before I knew Morgan was going to bring it up.
Yeah, kind of like all the people that collaborated with Puffy.
Boy, howdy.
I bet they wish they could scrub the internet.
You know, I'm coming out like a fucking bed of roses on that deal. Not that I had anything to do with Puffy, but going back to the class of
What do you mean by
1997.
that there, buddy?
So, what I mean by that there is the songs that me and my friends wanted to be our class song in 1997 for Grove City High School, home of the Greyhounds, was shot down. You know what song they chose to be the class song?
The Biggie tribute song.
No, I'll give you an idea. The movie Air Jam with Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan was huge.
Space Jam.
Oh, I
Space Jam.
believe I can fly. I believe
The original
I can
version.
touch the sky.
Isn't
Who sang
that's R.
that
Kelly
song?
though? That's
That was R. Kelly.
And what did R. Kelly do in the mid 2000s?
pissed on
He pissed
people.
on
Pissed on a
teenage
minor.
girls.
And the same people who wanted R. Kelly, I believe I can fly, are the same people going to fucking Puff Daddy concerts 2 years fucking later. That whole crew of people, me and my friends, once again, we're the assholes. We're the freaking Marilyn Manson people. Really? We don't listen to artists who fucking pee on minors, and we didn't listen to artists who fucking ran underground pedophilia rings. So who came out on the top, smell like roses on that guy? The weird insane clown posse. Well, actually, I can't mention that because of the alleged ICP PDF file, but anyhow, I looked into that. But yeah, the weird guy listening to Nine Inch Nails and punk rock music. We came out smell like roses on that one. But yeah, you guys wanted I Believe I Can Fly. So yeah.
Well, you know what the R. Kelly people came out smelling like?
You know,
Piss.
urine urine is sterile, by the way. So there's that.
Yeah,
Urine
well,
is sterile?
yeah.
Yeah, urine's sterile.
Your body is the perfect filter. So you can actually use urine to clean wounds.
Yeah. Fun
Really?
fact. I never knew this. You know, your urine doesn't come directly from like your stomach, and like when you drink your soda, it's not a direct path. Your urine actually comes from your blood.
It's all the toxins that get removed through your kidneys, right?
Yeah, but it actually comes from your
Yeah.
blood. It's not like your body sucks what it wants out of the fluid sitting in your stomach and sends it to your bladder. No, it actually goes to it filters through your blood. But yeah. So yeah, your urine is sterile.
Hey, speaking of ICP,
Mm-hmm.
want to know how many artists are on their record label now?
2.
Two.
Yeah, I noticed.
Them and Ouija Mac.
Yeah. Yeah, I stopped paying attention probably in 2010-ish. I just moved on after listening to them since 1994.
Yeah.
But by the time the Wraith came out, I was more into Twisted anyhow, because like as they got older, one of the mistakes they had by bringing Twisted on is when they collaborated with Twisted, you could see who actually had better skill lyrically and writing wise. Twisted was far more better lyricist and writers and rappers than ICP was.
Yeah.
And when they got away from the Six Jokers card and their reinterpretation of, let's be honest, the apocalypse, and started going towards when Juggalos went from dressing like skaters to dressing like fucking emo kids, that's when I lost interest. Like, once the Wraith came out, I was done with it. But I was listening to Twisted still. But then I just lost interest. And then that day I was talking to you about the Fallout, I went and looked. I'm like, wow, like everybody went to Magic Ninja Records and left Psychopathic behind. It's insane.
Everybody. Literally every fucking artist left and went over there. And if they didn't go over there, they were still homies with those fucking dudes. Like every fucking
That just goes to show you how much money they were taking from those boys that the entire crew fucking left. Said, see ya.
Yep.
Morgan,
Good stuff.
You're the senior of the group. This might be before.
Okay.
This might be before Mike's time, but he may have. Maybe his mom had one in a junk drawer somewhere. Did you have a Lucky Rabbit's foot as a kid?
Oh, of course. Came from the local pizza parlor in Portland. It was called the Organ Grinder.
What color was it?
Like the old. I think mine was yellow.
Mm-hmm. Mike, did you have a Lucky Rabbit's foot as a kid?
I didn't have one, but
You heard about them.
I knew what they were. I knew people who did have them. I did have a squirrel tail one time. That's about it, though.
I did a TikTok today because I thought about this on mile 6 of my run because I saw a ran over rabbit and I saw a foot laying there. They were real fucking rabbit's feet. That was the thing.
Yep.
They were mummified, and which is why they dyed them, right? Because
Yeah.
when they dyed them, by that point the foot was all, and like unless you pulled the fur apart, you could. The foot was all dried out, and so they dyed them bright colors. But I did this TikTok talking about part of the reason Gen X is so fucked up is, it's funny when you get to like mile 5. I don't know where I'm at. I'm on my way back, and I already ran 4 miles. So anyhow, I get to mile 5 or 6. Your brain starts looking for new content to process, right? You've already had a lot of time to think and process. And speaking of what I want to talk about, if you look closely, there is a bunny. Hello, bunny. Our neighborhoods here in Northeast Cape are full of those bunnies, which is what brought me to this topic I just processed in my head. And I'm going to walk it out so you can hear me. And that is this. For young cats who want to know what the fuck is wrong with Gen X. Give you a little peek. I know a lot of people give you a little peek. Here's a little peek you probably don't know. Lucky Rabbit's foot. You guys heard the whole tale. I think maybe it's a sticker. But no, it's not a sticker. It's not a stuffed animal. You're looking at an entire generation who can tell you what the smell of a lopped off, cleaned up, dyed purple, capped off with a keychain rabbit's foot smells like. You have an entire generation whose parents took them to the county fair, took them to a festival, and threw darts at balloons or flicked as many cigarette butts in an ashtray, whoever won. And the prize that we all loved was a real lopped off, severed rabbit's foot that was dyed the color of any color of your local barista's hair. That was the color. And the reason I say we know the smell is because we use these things. We put them on our belt loop. It was fashionable to walk around with severed rabbit's foot on your belt buckle of your Lee jeans. And you would sit in kindergarten, first grade, whatever, 5th grade, on movie day. They'd have the projector out, click, 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 and you'd be rubbing that little dyed rabbit's foot all over your face because it felt so great. Yeah, so that's part of the problem. We used to sit in school and rub our faces with lopped off rabbit's feet. And look how lucky we are. Carrying a firearm daily comes with serious responsibilities. Responsibilities your everyday counterparts may not have to consider. Knowing where you can and cannot legally bring your firearm is crucial. But sometimes, life takes you places where carrying isn't an option. That's where the Stopbox Pro portable gun safe comes in. Securely store your firearm in your vehicle while handling life's obligations. Safety, responsibility, and with peace of mind. Stopbox Pro. Protection when you need it. Security when you don't. You have an entire generation of kids who know what lopped off, severed rabbit's feet smell like because we'd all rub them on our face because they were so small, they were so smooth, and we'd sit in class watching the film projector, literally rubbing the lopped off, severed, dyed foot of a fucking rabbit on our face. You have an entire generation of people who rubbed body parts on their face in school because it felt good. So we all can tell you what the smell of a mummified, lopped off, dried out, dyed the same color as any barista at your Starbucks. Mine was purple. these weren't produced at your local like farm. These were done. This, you know what this was? This was a very smart capitalist who ran a rabbit processing plant. Gee, Bob, what are we gonna do with all these rabbit feet? Well, we could make them in the dog food. Yeah, but then we got to pull the hair out. That's a lot of wasted good product. I know. Let's dye them with hair dye. But we all had them. We all literally went
So
to
it
school with
was a
lopped off
lucky
severed
rabbit's foot.
appendages of a fucking rodent on our persons, and we rubbed them all over.
So I saw that video today, that TikTok that you posted, and it got me thinking, are you old enough for the Coke mirrors at the fair?
Mm-hmm. Oh, sir, that's not a Coke mirror. That's a Aerosmith commemorative mirror from their tour in 1973.
Sure. You know what we're talking about, Mike?
I'm not sure.
Well,
So,
it's the same
back in
fair,
the
the same
80s
festivals, the same cigarette butt flicking contest.
Okay, yeah.
You would win.
Yeah, you would get.
I've
What
seen
were
them.
they like?
I
one by
never.
one mirrors wrapped
Well,
in cardboard.
If you're lucky, they were like
And-
3x3, maybe 6x6, but it was
Oh, well, you had to really win some shit to get that.
Yeah.
But you could get Motley Crue or Poison
REO
or
Speed,
whatever
the aforementioned REO Speedwagon,
Yeah,
Confederate Railroad.
yeah, and it was totally not for doing lines of code. I mean, not at all.
Well, you could break up your weed on it, right? And so then
Yeah, you could do that.
and your old lady would be sitting in the front seat of your Nova, so you'd reach over and grab the feathers out of her hair, which was the roach clip. So after you pulled it, you had the roach clip that was attached to the feather, because that's how you attach the feather to the hair. You had to have that roach clip on there. Or if your family was real enterprising, your dad clipped it to the garter belt around the rear view mirror from the fucking honey.
Yeah,
That was
there
the
you
other
go.
play, right? So yeah, we had a lot of.
Yeah. God, we're old.
Yep.
This has been a Digital 410 production.